Tyrann Mathieu, better known as the Honey Badger, earned this name for his ability to play extremely tough football against much larger opponents and his dyed patch of blonde hair. If we went back to 2011, he was arguably the best player in the SEC, but critics questioned whether his size and speed would translate into the NFL. Add in off-the-field issues, and many doubted if he'd ever realize his potential. Not only did he silence these skeptics, but he also carved out a decade-long career as one of the NFL's premier safeties. But how did he do it? This is the story of Tyrann Mathieu. Born on May 13, 1992 in New Orleans, Louisiana, Tyrann Mathieu's early life was defined by adversity. With his father incarcerated for murder and his mother largely absent, Mathieu was raised by his grandparents. But his grandfather would unfortunately pass away in 1997, leaving 5-year-old Tyrann searching for stability. His uncle Tyrone and aunt Sheila Mathieu stepped in, adopting him and providing the structure he desperately needed. Their household was centered around family and sports, and as a quiet kid, Mathieu would break out of his shell through football, a game that Mathieu hadn't even considered until Tyrone and Sheila encouraged him to try it. Mathieu attended St. Augustine High School, where he became a multi-sport athlete. Though football became his first love, his athleticism extended to track and field, where he excelled as a high jumper and long jumper. On the football field, Mathieu earned a reputation as a jitterbug, with his combination of speed and technical skills. While his small stature initially worked against him, he quickly earned the respect from his coaches and teammates for his toughness on the field.
They definitely taught me a lot, and I'm really looking forward to those guys pursuing a state championship this year.
Despite this high school success, Mathieu struggled to garner any attention from top Division I programs. Standing at just 5'9" and under 180 pounds, he lacked the physical presence many recruiters sought. Determined to prove himself, he attended summer camps at Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU. At Tennessee, Rivals recruiting director Mike Farrell was impressed. He wasn't the most physically impressive, but technically, he was sound as they come, and his perseverance paid off as he earned a 4-star recruit ranking and a spot as the number 13 cornerback in the nation. LSU secured his commitment after an impressive camp performance, setting the stage for what would become an iconic college career.
I think right now, we just focus on just finishing business, just taking it one game at a time. Hopefully, being in Miami and winning a title next year.
Mathieu wasted no time making an impact at LSU. As a true freshman in 2010, he played in all 13 games, recording 57 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. His standout performance in the Cotton Bowl Classic, where he forced 2 fumbles, recorded an interception, and added a sack, earned him the Most Outstanding Defensive Player Award. It was during this time Mathieu earned the nickname the Honey Badger, reflecting his fearless, relentless playing style and his signature blonde-dyed patch of hair that actually resembled the back of a honey badger. And by 2011, Mathieu had cemented his status as one of the most dynamic players in college football.
There's a certain swagger that goes along with his 5'9" frame. And when he is on the field, well, it's game on for the LSU sophomore out of St. Aug, who may have the best football instincts LSU fans have seen in years.
He finished the season with 77 tackles, 5 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 2 punt return touchdowns. He helped LSU claim the SEC championship, and Mathieu was named the game's MVP. His efforts earned him a place as a Heisman Trophy finalist, where he finished 5th, and the prestigious Chuck Bednarik Award for the nation's top defensive player. He was pretty much a local celebrity by this point, but being famous isn't for everyone. For a young, talented athlete, this can come with temptations off the field. And when you feel invincible, sometimes you think you can get away with anything.
What has been the reaction in Baton Rouge to the dismissal of the Honey Badger?
Well, it's very mixed. Yesterday, people were very angry. They were blaming everything on Les Miles. They're saying it cost them 1 national championship, maybe 2. They can't understand why they would kick him off for any reason. They want him on this team. Today, things are a little bit more tempered. Once news came out that it is likely that he failed a 3rd positive drug test, people are a little bit more understanding of what Les Miles did.
In October of 2011, Mathieu, along with 2 teammates, was suspended for violating LSU's drug policy. By August of 2012, LSU's head coach Les Miles dismissed Mathieu from the team for repeated violations of their team rules, reportedly involving failed drug tests.
I just told him the truth. I think there was nobody in the room that was happy, including me. We understand.
Days later, Mathieu withdrew from LSU and entered a rehabilitation program in Houston. Despite taking these steps, trouble followed. In October of 2012, Mathieu and 3 former LSU teammates were arrested for marijuana possession.
You're looking at new video of the men being taken away in handcuffs from a Baton Rouge police substation, placed into police cruisers on their way to the parish prison.
With multiple drug-related incidences tarnishing his reputation, Mathieu's future in football was slipping away.
I think at the end of the day, I'm human, and I'm just a regular human. We have to be pretty good at football, so I just have to keep those two things balanced in my life.
At his lowest, Mathieu found a lifeline in his former LSU teammate Patrick Peterson. Peterson's father, Patrick Sr., invited Mathieu to train with him in Florida, providing much-needed structure and mentorship. They thought it was a no-brainer for him to get away from Louisiana, Peterson explained. Mathieu even stated in a recent interview, "I think 10, 11 years ago, when I was around 20 years old, I think it was just important for me to kind of remove myself from certain things, certain environments, so that I could work on myself, get myself to a certain point to where I could come back home and be responsible to be a person that I know I can be." So over 3 months, Mathieu trained relentlessly, focusing on improving his speed and agility while also attending drug rehabilitation. In 2013, Mathieu declared for the NFL draft. Despite concerns about his past, his talent and work ethic shone through. He was projected as a second or third round pick on draft weekend. After slipping out of the first 2 rounds, he was selected by the Arizona Cardinals in the 3rd round. Everything from that past year, getting arrested, getting kicked out of school, the questions, trying to be yourself, it was tough. I was just happy to get through it. Under the mentorship of fellow LSU alum Patrick Peterson, Mathieu earned a starting role as a nickelback and safety. In his rookie season, he recorded 68 tackles, 9 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble in just 13 games. His standout plays, such as forcing a critical fumble on Jared Cook in his first NFL game, highlighted his knack for game-changing moments. Despite a season-ending ACL and LCL tear, Mathieu was named to the All-Rookie team, signaling his arrival as a potential future star. Mathieu's early years in the NFL were exceptional, but they were also marred with plenty of injury. In 2015, Mathieu reached a new level of dominance, recording 89 tackles, 7 pass deflections, and 5 interceptions, including his first career touchdown. He was named first-team All-Pro and earned his first Pro Bowl selection. However, another ACL tear late in that season sidelined him for the playoffs, raising questions about his durability. Despite these setbacks, Mathieu continued to prove his ability to adapt in his game and overcome physical limitations.
I just want to bring some energy, man. I want to make as many plays as possible. I just want to be a leader back there. Just show those guys that, I'm going to show up every day.
After a 1-year stint with the Houston Texans in 2018 and his ability to anchor a secondary, Mathieu signed with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019. This chapter in his career solidified himself as one of the top safeties in the NFL. In Kansas City, Mathieu became the leader of the defense, contributing to the Chiefs' Super Bowl in 2019. During that 2019 season, he recorded 75 tackles and 4 interceptions. His versatility allowed him to excel as a safety, a nickelback, and even a pseudo linebacker in certain schemes. Mathieu earned back-to-back first-team All-Pro honors in 2019 and 2020, a testament to his ability to dominate at multiple positions. In 2022, Mathieu signed with the New Orleans Saints, fulfilling a dream of playing for his hometown team. While the Saints have faced challenges, Mathieu has remained a steady force on the field, leading the team in tackles and tying for the most interceptions in 2024. As of January of 2025, Mathieu is tied for the active NFL lead in interceptions with 36, alongside Patrick Peterson and Harrison Smith. His 3 first-team All-Pro selections, 2 Pro Bowl nods, and inclusion in the NFL's All-Decade team for the 2010s highlight how consistent he's been despite numerous injuries. And Mathieu's Hall of Fame candidacy is subject for debate. Critics might argue that his peak years were relatively short, or that his hybrid role makes statistical comparisons difficult. However, these critiques overlook the essence of Mathieu's career. He has redefined what it means to be a defensive back in modern NFL, combining coverage skills, tackling ability, and the uncanny instinct for game-changing plays. Dating back all the way to LSU, regardless of his Hall of Fame status, his legacy as one of the most dynamic and impactful players of his generation is unquestionable. Thanks for watching, and comment below any player you'd like to see me cover next, and I'll see you next time.